Now on CoastTV News.
Development decisions ahead, from homes and commercial spaces to a Wawa in Lincoln. We break down what is going in front of Sussex County officials today.
Route 1 fix.
Things were pretty congested just to get to our house.
The changes drivers in the Milton area should expect when the focus shifts to a different part of the overpass project.
Waking up to some windy conditions, especially along the coast this morning as we say hello to October and so long to the humidity. Your latest forecast coming up.
Sharing the sidewalk, the policy for scooters and bikes going into effect today in Maryland, and why Ocean City could enact something that is contrary.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. It is Wednesday, October 1st, 2025.
Yes, it is. Only 3 months remain in this calendar year,
Wow.
Elisa.
I didn't really put that together. Well, if you have been slacking on your New Year's resolutions, you still have 3 more months to end 2025.
I can't even remember. I don't even remember if I did a New Year's resolution.
Well, if you've been slacking on them, 3 more months. You can end 2025 on a good note.
All right, let's bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono. Chris, I have a feeling that if I did do a resolution, I probably broke it within the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's usually the way they go. They usually bust them like a couple days after the new year. As we take a live look into Ocean View, a windy start for our friends in Ocean View, 68 degrees there. But look at the dew points, 58. Remember, we had dew points in the 70s here for the past few days. And you can see sustained winds out of the northeast right now, anywhere from 32 Indian River Inlet, 22 in Rehoboth. So a windy start to the day. Gusts upwards of 30 Ocean City, 37 Indian River Inlet. So it's going to be a rather windy day at the coast, a bit breezy further inland you go. Temperature-wise, well, it's quite mild. 66 Milton, 69 Indian River Inlet. We're at 65 Salisbury, 66 in Georgetown. More importantly, the dew points are beginning to drop. We're in the 50s, and that is a sign of that cool, drier air filtering southward from Canada right down the east coast. High pressure building in Imelda, and those high cirrus clouds that we've been dealing with are pushing out to sea, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine through the afternoon, but we still do have a high risk of rip currents and dangerous surf, and that will kind of linger through the late week time frame. Plenty of sunshine through the afternoon. We'll shed the clouds, the high clouds. Temperatures only rising upper 60s to around 70 degrees. We'll talk about more cooler temperatures ahead in that full 7-day forecast. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this hour are the projects getting reviewed today by Sussex County's Planning and Zoning Commission,
including the one that has generated plenty of attention over the past month, that is Atlantic Fields.
And today we could see a decision on plans for a Costco, Target, and Whole Foods in the area west of Lewis. The decision was deferred after last month's public hearing. That was one that lasted over 4 hours.
Developers want to build a nearly 700,000 square foot shopping center at the corner of Route 24 and Mulberry Knoll Road. To do this, the land needs to change from agricultural residential to commercial zoning. And also at today's Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, the preliminary site plans for a Wawa in Lincoln are getting reviewed. This is at the intersection of Route 113 and Johnson Road. It includes a convenience store, parking spaces, and gas pumps. That meeting is scheduled for 3 this afternoon.
And those are not the only developments getting a review at today's Planning and Zoning meeting. Also on the agenda, developers with Crosswinds LLC. They're looking to bring 352 homes on 183 acres of land in Selbyville. And developers with Marlin Cove LLC, they want to build 210 units on nearly 61-acre plot of land in Selbyville.
Happening today, big changes are coming to Delaware's DMV fees. According to the state, DMV fees are increasing, and that includes a 1% increase in the document fee for vehicle transactions. Delta says to renew your driver's license, locals will now have to pay $50. New specialty plate requests will incur a fee of $200. According to the agency, there is set to be a new annual registration fee for more than 48,000 alternative fuel vehicles in the state. Those fees could cost up to $900 depending on the vehicle.
And starting today in Maryland, the Motor Vehicle Administration will begin enforcing tougher penalties and rolling out new services. One new law requires the MVA to revoke licenses for anyone convicted of impaired driving that causes a deadly or life-threatening crash or leaving the scene. A commercial driver convicted of being under the influence will lose their commercial driving privileges for at least a year, with repeat offenders facing a lifetime ban. To learn what other new driving legislation taking effect today, Head to the article on our website, CoastTV.com.
Starting today, Maryland is allowing bikes and scooters on sidewalks. That change comes as a new Maryland state law takes effect. But Ocean City is considering an ordinance against it. Council members say allowing more riders on sidewalks could lead to conflicts with people walking, raise safety issues at busy intersections, and increase the chances of people crossing against traffic signals.
Possibly from May 1st to October 1st, that the bikes and the scooters cannot be on the sidewalk, but then in the off season that they can. It's a lot less people here.
The Ocean City Council plans to release the first draft of this ordinance next Monday.
Students are set to return to classes today after being evacuated from University of Delaware buildings Tuesday morning. According to UD, this was prompted by police activity when it was reported there was an explosive device in a building. In a statement, the school said, quote, University of Delaware Police Department has issued an all clear after completing its investigation into an earlier situation. There is no active threat to campus safety. Normal activity resumed later in the afternoon.
And at another Delaware university on the same day, students were evacuated and all classes canceled due to what Delaware State University says was a bomb threat. According to a DSU spokesperson, the university received the threat just before 11 a.m. After university police, state and federal authorities investigated the threat, the university took to its Facebook page around 5 p.m. to announce its campus had been cleared by law enforcement. Delaware State University says it will reopen today.
And we're now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. With no deal in hand by the midnight deadline, the federal government is now shut down. The impacts of the shutdown are expected to be widespread. More than 2 million federal workers will go without pay, and the president has threatened mass layoffs as well.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us the big disagreement causing a standstill between lawmakers.
This morning, as the consequences of a government shutdown start rippling across the country, on Capitol Hill, frustrated lawmakers starting a new clock to reopen.
It's time to end this and release the hostage. Let's get back to work.
Republicans and Democrats trading blame after two last-ditch funding votes failed in the Senate Tuesday night. Without the necessary 7 Democrats crossing over to back it, they're holding out to restore health care cuts and extend Obamacare subsidies.
Fix health care premiums and spare Americans the calamity of skyrocketing through the roof health care costs.
Republicans argue those discussions can wait, voicing pessimism about the current standstill.
There literally is nothing to negotiate. They're bringing in extraneous issues that don't have anything to do at all with keeping the government open.
Despite the shutdown, Social Security, Medicare, and VA benefits will continue along with student loans. But national parks could close, and roughly 750,000 federal workers could be furloughed. Many more, including TSA agents, required to work without pay until the shutdown ends.
We're looking for bombs, weapons, stuff like that, and you can't miss, right? So you don't want officers with added stress of how am I going to pay my bills?
President Trump raising the stakes, reiterating his threat of mass layoffs while blaming Democrats.
Cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
Democrats adamant those cuts are already happening, pushing for leverage now.
They've got to sit down and negotiate with Democrats.
As the nation waits for what's next. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And Maryland Governor Wes Moore is responding to the impacts of the government shutdown. According to his office, the governor will hold a press conference this morning with other Maryland lawmakers. And then tonight at 8 p.m., Governor Moore is scheduled to deliver an address on Maryland Public Television.
Milton DelDOT is doing more work to try and make Route 1 a little easier and safer. The southbound overpass was completed in April.
Yeah, now DelDOT says they will mirror that same thing, but on the northbound side. This is so cars going north will travel under Route 1.
And DelDOT says this is all starting today. According to the agency, drivers should expect daytime lane closures. DelDOT tells us the goal is to take Route 1 out of the picture altogether for drivers going east and west.
They can do that by adding another piece to the overpass, and some people in this area hope it will reduce traffic and make driving safer.
Things were pretty congested just to get to our house, so we moved on to the west side of Route 1, and we kind of avoid it as much as we can.
And the orange cones are going to be there for a while. This project is expected to last into spring of 2026.
Yeah, Lisa, if you remember what it was like driving in that northbound stretch, you know slower traffic will occur at times with this one. Let's go to our poll now.
We're going to look at our CoastTV poll. We want to know what concerns you most about 6 months of closures.
Yeah, a little change here, but still 73%. Most people voting for added traffic. 13% say emergency delays. Then we have business impacts and a couple votes for weather delays. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do so on CoastTVnews.com or the mobile app.
And we could see changes to Delaware state park fees and make its case. Denmark will continue to host open houses through Thursday. Here is what is in play: the fee schedule for daily entrance along with annual and lifetime passes. According to Denmark, park fees have not increased since 2015, even as operating costs have gone up more than 120%. The Sussex County open house is tonight at the Officers Club in Cape Henlopen State Park, and it will start at 5:30.
Concerns over recent property tax hikes in Delaware brought lawmakers back to Legislative Hall this week. The state's Special Property Reassessment Committee held its first hearing to review that assessment process, and lawmakers pressed Tyler Technologies, that's the company behind the reassessment, and how they calculated new property values. The company explained its approach, but a pending lawsuit tied to an August bill kept many specifics off that table.
Since we hadn't done it in 40 or 50 years, we're setting the platform, the groundwork to be able to do something more responsibly in the future and more equitably as well for Delawareans.
And lawmakers say the goal of the hearing was to get answers about what went wrong during the process. There's 3 more that are scheduled, with the next one set to take place on October 7th.
And we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, higher fees for boating begin. What Marylanders need to know before setting out on the water.
Also, action after high school fight, how the Wicomico County community is reacting to reports of a fight that involved a racial slur.
And delivery robot revealed. We're going to take a look at this guy here, this new meal machine. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva, halfway to that weekend as we take a live look into Cambridge. Just a few high cirrus clouds there, 64 degrees, dew point 61, winds out of the northeast at about 10 miles an hour. Partly cloudy skies to start and a mostly sunny afternoon. As we take a recap of September, well, temperatures were all over the place. The highest temperature we had 92, the lowest was 51, and at about 15 below normal, 3 about normal days, and we had 12 above average days. As far as rainfall totals go for the month, well, we were about 1.5 inches shy of where we should have been for the total monthly rainfall. Now, as we take a look ahead at the month of October, Climate Prediction Center predicting, well, slightly above normal temperatures as we make our way through the month. And as far as precipitation outlook, slightly below normal. So we'll see how that pans out here over the next few weeks. As we take a look at your First Alert weather phone, you can always get the latest forecast by giving it a call. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast here in a little bit. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Happening today, a heads up for hikers and bikers. The Gordon's Pond Trail will be closed for routine maintenance. The park says the trail will be completely impassable during the day, but the trail is expected to reopen this evening.
New this morning, a first-of-its-kind environmental project in Delaware's inland bays. According to the Delaware Environmental Coalition, 240,000 clams are getting released into the Little Assawoman Bay. The project is a partnership with the organization, Delaware State University, University of Delaware, and Delaware Sea Grant. Organizers say the goal is to boost recreational clamming and improve water quality. Clams are natural filter feeders, cleaning gallons of water every day.
The Federal Trade Commission is suing Zillow and Redfin over what it says is an unlawful agreement. According to the complaint, Zillow agreed to pay Redfin $100 million to remove Redfin as a competitor to Zillow in the multifamily rental advertising market. The FTC says this is a violation of federal antitrust laws, and it's seeking to stop the companies from continuing the deal.
DoorDash is unveiling a new delivery robot. Meet Dot. Dot is fully autonomous, all electric, about 1/10 the size of a car. and can reach speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. It can use bike lanes, sidewalks, and roads to deliver orders in a timely manner. That's good to know, Chris.
Yes, it is. Get that food nice and quick there. As we take a look at our forecast for this morning, seeing a few high clouds to start, but plenty of sunshine. A windy start, especially if you're along the beaches this morning, seeing some gusts upwards of 35, 40 miles an hour. I'll talk about how long those winds are going to stand, and we'll talk about some nice, cool, crisp nights ahead in that full 7-day forecast right after the break.
Time is 6:19, and here is a live look at the Roosevelt Inlet in Lewis. And if you check out the left side of your screen, you can see that strong wind, Chris, that we've been talking about all morning.
Yeah, those winds are cranking at the coast. If you're further inland, mid-shore, not much in the way of wind, but yeah, right along the immediate coast, we're seeing some pretty strong winds at this hour out of the northeast. You can see those sustained winds, 23, Rehoboth 34, Indian River Inlet 16 there in Ocean City, gusts upwards of 38, Indian River Inlet to 31 in Bethany Beach, and we're going to continue to see breezy conditions throughout Delmarva, especially along the coast through the morning and afternoon. Temperature-wise, we're at 69 in Rehoboth, 67 Long Neck, 66 in Georgetown, and we're at 65 in Salisbury. More importantly, the dew points are in the 50s and dropping. You can see the dew points to our north, 38 New York City, 41 in Philadelphia. That dry Canadian air is filtering southward and helping to kind of squash this humidity that's been in place for the last week. We'll see the humidity levels creep up a bit as we get into early part of next week. Well, we have high pressure to our north, our tropical systems pushing to the south, and that tight pressure gradient is causing that strong wind effect here we're seeing all along the coast. There goes Umberto, actually going to get absorbed by a cold front, and right behind it is Imelda, actually intensifying and making a beeline for Bermuda as a Category 2 hurricane later on this afternoon. Still seeing some residual effects. Coastal flood advisory up through 8 o'clock, could see up to a foot of inundation through the high tide cycles today, and we have that coastal flood advisory extending into Worcester County through 6 o'clock this afternoon. And we also do have gale warnings up through about 6 o'clock. Not the good day to take the boat out. High surf advisories up through Worcester County as well as Accomack. Waves as high as 11 feet today, so dangerous surf throughout Delmarva. 68 this afternoon to about 71 along the eastern shore, and there you see those high cirrus clouds that we've been dealing with associated with Imelda dissipating through the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, and then we'll fall tonight. In fact, some areas dipping into the upper 40s. Western Sussex County, mid-shore, mostly sunny skies tomorrow. Upper 60s to right around 70 degrees. So there's those winds gusting upwards of 30, 35 miles an hour through the morning and afternoon. As we get in the evening and overnight, we'll see those winds kind of subside, and we'll still see winds at upwards of 20, 25 miles an hour into our Thursday. Rain chances are going to be few and far between over the next 7 days. Could see a late shower next Tuesday with a cold front pushing through. So high pressure is going to dominate. Could see a few high clouds late tomorrow night into Friday morning. Other than that, we're looking spectacular to round out the week. 71 by Friday, mostly sunny skies. Picture perfect weekend. In fact, 75 Saturday. We're pushing near 80 on Sunday, and then lower 80s by the start of next week.
Okay, Chris, a fight at a Salisbury high school. It's gone viral, and now people in the community are demanding the district take action. This is the fight in question. It happened last week at Parkside High School. It was between a white student and a black student. As you can hear, we have bleeped out some of the audio, but in the video, you do hear the white student say a racial slur and then threaten to shoot the black student with her gun.
If you're going to attack somebody racially, and then you're going to threaten their life with a gun, then you have to be accountable for that.
Wycomico County Schools could not go into details about punishments, but say it's handling this matter in accordance with its code of conduct, which clearly lays out that fighting can result in a suspension or expulsion.
Up next on Coast TV News today, higher fees for boating begin. What fund Maryland lawmakers say the increase will go towards. Don't go anywhere. Happening today, Maryland boaters will have to pay more to get on the water. Registration title fees, validation stickers will automatically jump drastically. The 2-year registration fee rises from $24 to $70. Title fees went up 1,000%, going from $2 to $20, and validation stickers go from $10 to $70. Many boaters are not happy with these changes.
I'm retired too, so I got a small income. I'm going to have to be more careful, more frugal what to do. It could stop me from doing things.
The hikes are tied to Maryland's Waterway Improvement Fund, which will now fully cover projects up to $500,000. The state says the increases will fund dredging, boat ramps, and waterway access and safety. Cooler conditions today as we begin a new month. Matt is fully accepting fall now. The weather feels cooler.
A little bit, yeah.
The weather's just on the same page as you.
Finally, we are synced up together, and I guess this is our life along the coast, Chris, for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you know what? We have been waiting this fall-like air to move in, and some people have, at least from what I hear. 68 right now in Lewis, quite windy. You can see the American flag there. We're seeing some gusts upwards of 35, 40 miles an hour along the beaches, 58-degree dew point there. We still have gale warnings up for the entire coast, and those run through about 6 o'clock tonight. We also do have a coastal flood advisory. This is for possibly up to a foot of inundation throughout high tide cycle today. That runs through about 8 o'clock. We also do have coastal flood advisories extending down to Worcester County. High surf advisory. Could see some waves, some swells as high as 6 to 11 feet today along the coast. Mostly sunny skies through the afternoon. Ocean City, Fenwick Island, highs reaching the upper 60s. Plenty of sunshine in Lewis and Rehoboth through the afternoon, but a cool, breezy day with those winds gusting upwards of 35 miles an hour. Not as breezy on the bay side, but plenty of sunshine. Temperatures rising to around 70 degrees. Our Coast TV weather umbrella winner is Jeff Wallen, Millsboro, Delaware. Congratulations there. Your full forecast in the next half hour. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. And after the break on Coast TV News today, Ocean City bike debate why the town is pushing back against a Maryland law that changes what's allowed on sidewalks.
Also, Route 1 revamp, what you need to know as lane closures are set to begin today in Milton.
And massive shopping center considered, what is expected today after Sussex County leaders failed to make a decision during a 4-hour public hearing. Coast TV News today will be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Big shops seek decision. We could learn today if plans for a Costco, Target, and more are moving forward that could change an area west of Lewis.
Coastal homes crumble, how powerful waves from hurricanes offshore destroyed several houses in North Carolina.
Waking up to some windy conditions, especially along the coast this morning as we say hello to October and so long to the humidity. Your latest forecast coming up.
Ocean City objections. Why the beach town is not on board with a Maryland statewide policy for bikes and scooters that begins today.
This is Coast TV News Today.
October 1st, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
And we're approaching 6:31 on this Wednesday. Elisa, some more playoff baseball for you this afternoon. Is it this afternoon or today? Now I got a mental block on that one.
It's this afternoon, and I will not be watching.
Okay.
I listened to you and Chris yesterday because you really know you should watch a little bit of it. So I tuned in for the top of the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
No, that did not work out for me.
Okay.
Yeah, never listening to you guys again.
She's never going to listen to us, Chris.
Should have just listened to myself and checked the score on my phone. Thank you so much.
Oh, Chris Mastrobono, First Alert Meteorologist, is here with us. Chris, I'm sure you'll have a better attitude when it comes to your baseball team over the weekend.
Oh, without question. Not miss it. Won't miss it. I'll play my schedule around it. As we take a live look into ocean view, shedding some of those high clouds, but it's been a windy morning. Gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour there. Sustained winds 14 to 25, 68 degrees there, 57-degree dew point. So that drier air is beginning to filter into the region, and you can see the wind flow out of the northeast with sustained winds anywhere from 15 to 30 miles an hour. Gusts even higher. 38 Ocean City, 38 Indian River Inlet, so it's going to be a rather breezy morning and afternoon along the beaches. We're at 69 in Lewis, 67 Long Neck, 64 Bridgeville, and 67 in Delmarva. Painting further out here, you can see the dew points, 49 Stevensville, 45 Baltimore. That's that drier air filtering southward. And we're going to be beginning to see the fall-like feel enter the area. High pressure to our north, keeping sunny and dry, and actually that high helped keep Imelda and Umberto south of us. Could have been a lot worse, so thankfully we escaped those two systems, only dealing with some residual effects like the wind and some coastal flooding issues later on today, as well as dangerous surf. Stay out of the water. We're going to see some swells as high as 10 to 11 feet today. Sensational late week autumn feel, highs upper 60s to lower 70s. and overnight lows dipping into the 40s away from the coast. So plenty of sunshine today, but a windy day at that. Highs reaching the upper 60s to around 71 degrees. We'll talk more about that fall-like air moving in that 7-day forecast a little later on. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. 5 unoccupied houses along North Carolina's Outer Banks collapsed into the ocean Tuesday as hurricanes Umberto and Imelda rumbled in the Atlantic. This is a community on the string of islands that makes up the Outer Banks. The homes, once propped up on stilts, collapsed in the afternoon. A spokesperson from the Park Service said no injuries were reported.
And our top story this half hour are the projects getting reviewed today by Sussex County's Planning and Zoning Commission, and perhaps none bigger than the one known as Atlantic Fields.
Today we could see a decision on plans for a Costco, Target, and Whole Foods at an area west of Lewis. A decision was deferred after last month's public hearing that lasted over 4 hours.
Developers want to build a nearly 700,000 square foot shopping center. This is at the corner of Route 24 and Mulberry Knoll Road, and to do this, the land needs to change from agricultural residential to commercial zoning.
Also at the Sussex County Planning and Zoning meeting, a new phase of a big site in Milton is getting a public hearing today. This is the land in question, Route 16 and Route 30. It was a part of the Milton Village Apartments that received approval last year from the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission. Now the developer, Ventures LLC of Wilmington, is asking for a rezoning to heavy commercial. It could lead to new businesses and office spaces to the west of Milton.
Staying in Milton for this next one here, DelDOT is doing more work to try and make Route 1 a little easier, a little safer. Southbound overpass, that was completed in April.
Now DelDOT says they will mirror the same thing, but on the north side, so that cars going north will go under Route 1.
DelDOT says it's all starting today. According to the department, drivers should expect daytime lane closures, and they tell us the goal is to take Route 1 out of the picture entirely for drivers going east and west.
They can do that by adding another piece to the overpass. The orange cones are going to be there for a while, as this project is expected to last into spring of 2026.
We could see changes to Delaware State Park fees, and the public's asked to weigh in on this. DENREC will host an open house today through Thursday, October 2nd, and possible changes could impact fee schedule for daily entrance, annual and lifetime passes. According to DENREC, park fees have not increased since 2015. This is even as operating costs have gone up by more than 120%. In Sussex County, people can head to the Officers Club at Cape Henlopen State Park today at 5:30 p.m.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Not a lot is going on right now as the U.S. government is closed after lawmakers failed to agree on a funding plan. New overnight, the shutdown means some government functions are on hold. Others continue with longer wait times and less customer services.
And Amy Kiley shows us what the shutdown means for various government agencies.
The federal government is now shut down. It's out of money because Congress can't agree on a funding plan. The main sticking point is health care. Democrats want to reverse Medicaid cuts and stop enhanced Obamacare subsidies from expiring.
We need to stop these premiums from going up dramatically.
They're arguing a December policy debate for a September funding issue.
The Congressional Budget Office estimates about 750,000 federal workers face furloughs. It says they'd otherwise make $400 million a day. Essential employees must work without pay.
Social Security checks will come in. National Weather Service, they'll still be producing forecasts. We're talking about the Department of Veterans Affairs. Those will still be open. Medicare will still be going on, and unemployment insurance will, in fact, still be reaching the people who, of course, need it most.
The State Department might be slow to issue passports. The military remains in place, but just under half of civilian defense employees are furloughed. National parks have skeleton crews. The FDA says food inspections are affected. As for transportation, about 3/4 of FAA staff are working without pay, a central issue in the last shutdown.
10 controllers actually called out sick, and it led to massive delays. And they said, you know what, we need to end this shutdown.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Maryland is taking a big step to support residents with disabilities. Starting today, those with hidden disabilities will have the option to add a butterfly symbol to their driver's license or ID at no cost. According to the state, the new designation is part of what's being called Eric's ID law. It's designed to help first responders recognize hidden disabilities and respond with greater understanding while protecting individual privacy.
And also starting today, Maryland is allowing bikes and scooters on sidewalks. That change comes as a few state laws take effect, but Ocean City is considering an ordinance against it. Council members say allowing more riders on sidewalks could lead to conflicts with people walking, and that does raise safety issues at busy intersections. The Ocean City Council plans to release the first draft of an ordinance next Monday. And we still have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, art highlights African American heritage. We'll tell you the significance of this mural in Ocean City and what jazz legend has local ties.
Also, historic rivalry preview. Two local teams getting ready to add a new chapter. We hear from undefeated Y-High as they get ready for their big city matchup with Parkside.
And car seat safety, we'll tell you how to ensure the proper installation in Delaware. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
We salute Irv Hudson, a proud World War II veteran who served under General George Patton and fought bravely in the Battle of the Bulge. A lifelong resident of Ocean View, Irv recently celebrated his 100th birthday at VFW Post 7234, an incredible milestone for a true American hero. His legacy of service and strength continues to inspire all who know him.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Hope your Wednesday morning is off to a fantastic start as we take a live look into Laurel. All those high clouds that we've been dealing with, all associated with Imelda, beginning to clear out. So we'll see plenty of sunshine through the afternoon today. 64 degrees in Laurel. Winds pretty light inland, about 7 miles an hour, but pretty gusty at the coast. Partly cloudy skies to start. Mostly sunny afternoon. Highs only reaching upper 60s to lower 70s this afternoon. As we take a look at a little history here on this October 1st. Record high 87 just back in 2019. The record low 31 back in 1947. We're not going to be anywhere near those highs or lows. And we had about a little over an inch and a half of rain there back in 1958. Well, plenty of sunshine through the day today, but a windy day, especially at the coast. Gusts as high as 35 miles an hour. Dangerous risk of rip currents with some pretty high swells today, and temperatures rising into the lower 70s for much of our interior locations. We'll talk more about the rest of the week and the weekend ahead in that full 7-day forecast. Matt.
Chris, thank you. If you missed the car seat checks that occurred this past weekend, you have another opportunity. People can head to Crossroads Community Church in Georgetown on Friday, October 10th. This is from 3 to 6 p.m. Tidal Health, who is hosting the event, says the free service is designed to help ensure that car seats are installed correctly and are appropriate for a child's age, height, and weight.
Delaware lottery players are cashing in on some big wins this month. Sorry, one is not Matt Pensick. That's according to the Delaware Lottery Association. Hey. A Millsboro man won $10,000 with scratch-off he bought from a Wawa on Long Neck Road. In Milford, a group of friends scored $50,000 on a Powerball ticket bought at a shore stop in Dover. An 80-year-old man from Lewis won over $37,000 on a ticket he purchased at Uncle Willie's on Coastal Highway. And a Milford woman landed a life-changing prize of almost $400,000. Her winning ticket was sold at Sweet Mart on Causey Avenue.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, folks. Hump Day is here, and we're just one day away from having football back on our TVs. It's another good one coming at you on DSN on Thursday between two longtime rivals in Salisbury. The Tribe of Y-High is 4-0 this season, looking for its best start since 2021. To be 5-0. They've been led by quarterback Landon Roche and receiver Jam Stevens to a tune of just under 40 points per game, good for 7th in the state of Maryland. Stevens has also added 4 kick return touchdowns on the year, a mark head coach Matt McMurdo is incredibly proud of. But given the nature of this city rivalry, Coach McMurdo is ready for yet another physical battle with Parkside, who traditionally has been a run-heavy offense, but as of late has shown big play capability through the air.
You know, in the past, Parkside's been a heavy run team, and they've been a difficult team to stop in the run, and that's always been our priority against them is stop the run, stop the run, stop the run. Well, this year it's a little bit of a swing because Thomas Gromley, a quarterback, he's throwing great passes, really good. He's putting the ball on the money. He can spin it. And then they've got, like you said, Tavian and Ethan, who are really good athletes. So it should provide more challenges for us than it has in the past. You know, Parkside's not generally the team that throws the ball or airs it out, but now that they have that as a weapon, that provides a bigger challenge for us defensively.
Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. at County Stadium on Thursday. Pre-game coverage begins 15 minutes prior to kickoff. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN, 5:30, we have Pro Foot Volleyball. It's episode 1. Then at 10:30, you can catch the final score.
An iconic performer is celebrating a milestone. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
We do let ourselves out once in a while.
Julie Andrews is 90 years old today. The Oscar, Emmy, and Grammy winner rose to fame on Broadway in My Fair Lady and Camelot, made her big screen debut with her Oscar-winning performance in Mary Poppins, and has starred in films ranging from The Sound of Music to Victor Victoria to The Princess Diaries. Happy 90th birthday, Dame Julie.
I just need you to let me in.
Always about you. Only about you.
Emily Blunt goes toe-to-toe with Dwayne Johnson in writer-director Benny Safdie's The Smashing Machine.
You feel a storm brewing going into them, and you can feel there's a force field on set, particularly the way Benny works, the environment he creates of reality. So fiction just gets sort of vaporizes. And that's so exciting, but quite unnerving to come down from, you know, and I think we had sleepless nights. I mean, the movie was sponsored by tequila. It was sort of essential.
The Smashing Machine is in U.S. theaters Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And we're once again gearing up for the Bless Our Children campaign. Every year, Draper Media works to make the holiday season brighter for children on Delmarva. The money raised goes to charitable groups who then buy Christmas presents. And right now, we're accepting funding applications from those nonprofits. However, today is the deadline, October 1st, and you can find the link to this at blessourchildren.org.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at CoastTV.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Happy October, Coast Life. If you join us today at 4, let's see what's coming up on the show. Our friends at Preston Automotive Group are giving back to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're going to tell you how they're doing that. And every new month means there's something new happening at the Art League of Ocean City. We've got a First Friday to tell you about as well. All that and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. See you then.
Well, the long-awaited fall-like weather is finally here today. Temperatures rising upper 60s to around 70. It will be a breezy day, especially at the coast, with gusts upwards of 35 miles an hour. We'll talk more about some beautiful weather ahead in that full 70 forecast right after the break.
The time is now 6:49 and we are taking a live look outside at Cambridge this morning. Chris, we see a little bit of sun coming up in the background there. That is always a good sign, but it's October 1st. We're starting off with cooler weather. It's officially feeling like fall.
Yeah, finally, right? All the people that want fall, you're going to get that fall-like weather here over the next few days. And seeing some pretty windy conditions at this hour, primarily along the beaches. You can see winds gusting 23, sustained in fact, 23 Rehoboth to 31 Indian River Inlet, gusts 30 Rehoboth, 36 Indian River Inlet, and 30 in Ocean City. You can see when you go west of Coastal Highway, not much in the way of wind. And temperature-wise this morning, we're at 63 in Milford, 68 Dagsboro, 69 in Bethany Beach. Dew points, more importantly, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere. Look at that. We are seeing dew points falling into the 50s and dropping even further. You can see that drier air just to our north, 38-degree dew point there in New York City, 41 in Philadelphia, and that drier air is sinking southward, and it's going to stick around for the remainder of the week. You see the dew points creep up a bit there towards the end of the weekend into early next week. Free of any precipitation, high pressure building in. That high to the north and the tropical systems to our south, that pressure difference is causing those high winds. Umberto, Category 1 hurricane, getting absorbed in a cold front, and there's Imelda getting its act together, more compact hurricane, in fact, making a beeline for Bermuda today as a Category 2 hurricane. Now, we still do have some residual effects here. Coastal flood advisory up for Delaware's coast up through about 8 o'clock tonight. Could see up to a foot of inundation throughout the high tide cycle today. Worcester County, that is up through about 6. And we also do have gale warnings that continue through about 6 tonight with 40 knot winds there off the coast. And we still have high surf advisories. We see some waves as high as 10 to 11 feet along the coast today. Highs, mostly sunny, breezy day, upper 60s to around 70 degrees this afternoon. 72 Vienna. A little bit warmer there along the midshore, 68 in Princess Anne. So there's the high clouds clearing out. Sunshine through the afternoon, a clear evening, falling into the upper 40s western Sussex County. Mostly sunny into our Thursday, with that northeast flow continuing with highs in the upper 60s. There's the winds this afternoon, gusting upwards of 30-35 miles an hour, and then those winds will subside through the overnight into Thursday. Rain chances pretty slim here over the next 7 days. We're looking pretty dry, at least through the middle part of next week, as high pressure builds in through the end of the week and into the weekend. Highs by your Friday, 71 degrees, mostly sunny skies, and a spectacular weekend. Trending milder, 75 Saturday and near 80 by Sunday. Matt.
All right, thank you, Chris. Keeping hotel history alive through art. The Beach to Bay Heritage Area put up the fourth and final mural of its project. This is to honor African American heritage. The Henry Hotel was built in the late 1800s. It housed African American visitors to Ocean City. This included service workers and musicians, including Duke Ellington, who was featured on this mural. The 4 murals of this project include those located in Berlin, Salisbury, Crisfield, and this mural outside the Henry Hotel in Ocean City.
The time is now 6:53, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day is a toy Yorkie. On your screen right now is Fendi. It's a 4-year-old, and he recently celebrated a birthday, and he couldn't be happier for another year with his favorite family. Fendi was submitted to us by Darlene and Carlton in Georgetown.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
That's where that QR code is. Scan that to get your friends to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 6:56, and we're going to take a quick look at your forecast. Actually, first, here's the things to know before you go. At today's Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, the preliminary site plans for a Wawa in Lincoln are getting reviewed. This is at the intersection of Route 113 and Johnson Road. It includes a convenience store, parking spaces, and gas pumps. That meeting is scheduled for today at 3 o'clock. And now we're going to take a look at your weather. It is October 1st, starting off on a cooler note.
Yeah, Chris, and we got some stronger winds to start October with.
Yeah, it's been a very windy morning, especially at the beaches. We've seen some gusts as high as 40 miles an hour, and it's going to be a breezy day on Delmarva, especially at the coast. Highs today, well, we're only going to do about 70 degrees. Most of our coastal areas staying in the upper 60s with mostly sunny skies, lower humidity. Dangerous risk of rip currents today through the end of the week. We could see swells as high as 11 feet along the coast this afternoon. We're at 68 for our Thursday morning lows. Friday morning and Saturday morning, we could see some 40s on the board, especially away from the coast. And then we gradually warm it up over the weekend. Mostly sunny skies, mid to upper 70s, and then lower 80s early part of next week before we see a cold front come through middle part of next week. Elisa.
All right, thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Wednesday morning, everybody.